Hey everybody, hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you for joining me for today's video. This is Living History Militaria, and today we are in my dining room because I had to commandeer the dining room table because I have so much stuff to show you guys. This is awesome. I've been on a real awesome streak with hauling in a lot of local items. That is what 90% of this table actually is. So we got some uniforms, we got a lot of paper items, and we got some cool miscellaneous items in here. So let's not waste any more time. So I'm going to start right over here in the corner. I got this wicked awesome framed, almost like a poster. It's pretty heavy because it's glass frame, and it's a pretty good size poster too. I found this on Facebook Marketplace. I think I paid $10 for it. It's a really cool commemorative home front item from Ockenden Dairy. You can see right here it says Ockenden Dairy Honor Roll. And this was a dairy farm that was in Auburn, New York, which is right next to where I live, near Syracuse. So a really cool piece of home front local history. I bought this from one of the family members that actually bought Ockenden Dairy, and he said that this was hanging up in the barn for probably since World War II. And as you can see on here, there's a bit of an honor roll, and I'm guessing that these were employees that worked at the dairy farm. It says, United We Stand, USA in the air. Then you have your honor roll with a couple of names, a couple of dates, and then you have branches of service, mainly the Army and Marines, but pretty cool. And then I actually talked to an older collector friend who lives in Auburn, and he recognized this person's last name, and he said he thinks he went to school with this person's son. So I thought that was really cool too. And it also says on land and sea for liberty and freedom. It's in great shape. It's been in the frame for probably about 80 years. It was really grimy, but a couple of baby wipes go a long, long way. And it's looking brand new. There's some light staining on the bottom, but that's about it. The frame is in great shape too for its age. The cardboard's all in one shape on the back. All the nails are still holding it in. You got the original wire hanger here. So really cool to find that, and especially for that price. Like I said, I think I paid like $12 or something like that. So really cool item to add to the Homefront Heroes section in my collection. And I guess I'll keep it rolling with more local stuff here. This is probably one of my more recent acquisitions here, is this group of photos and the certificate up here, actually. So got this together, and there is some miscellaneous pictures under here. I'll show you guys those in a second. But this is William H. Wilkes from Syracuse, New York. And this is his certificate of completion for Fleet Sonar School, which is really cool, in Key West, Florida, December 23rd, 1944. So I got that. I have a couple of 4x6 pictures of his Navy portrait, which is really cool. He has the sonar technician patch on, which is really cool, I think. And those are they're really handsome pictures. I love the way that these old portraits look, because there is a lot of detail in there, even for it being black and white. I always love the look of the old portraits. And then you have, I'll do this one. It's a little bit bigger, not quite an 8x10, but one without the cap on. And this one is semi-colorized. You can see down here, you got a really nice view of his patch, which is super cool. And then right down here, you got this. This is roughly an 8x10, but just really nice portraits. Nice watch, patch, uniform. So I was really happy to get that. And I think I only paid about $40. For this little grouping right here. Found this on the Facebook Make an Offer group that I'm in. So guy said he found it at a garage sale here in Syracuse, but he no longer lives in Syracuse. He said this was years ago. So hey, he was happy to have it go back to its hometown too. So always excited to find this type of stuff here. And he said in the same binder were these. He says they might be relatives. He's not really sure. This is kind of interesting. It's like a little booklet. It says Declaration of Independence in the Library of Congress. And on the inside, it's got like a copy, the town of Bloomfield. I think this is from New Jersey, Bloomfield, New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. And it's got like a copy of like the document of surrender and whatnot on the inside. So it's kind of cool. It folds out. So that was in there. Again, I think actually William lived in Pennsylvania and then moved to Syracuse afterwards. So I'm not sure where the New Jersey part comes in. Like I said, these were just in the same binder. But a couple of portraits. Not sure who these guys are. Could be cousins, brother, sister. I'm not even sure. He said he didn't know either. They were just in the same binder. I got a diploma from Bloomfield High School for Winifred Patricia Fricker, 1943. And you got some school-related items here. Then there is a Remembrance of First Communion, also for Winifred. And then there is a child's picture in here, which is nice and matted. And then this is just a empty studio portrait folder. So I thought those were interesting. All right, next up, I got this awesome shadow box. My collector friend had found these in a house cleanout in Syracuse. And right here, this is pretty cool. You got a rock from Salerno Beach in Italy, May 6th, 1945. And then if you flip it over, you have Corporal Stephen J. Gamir from Italy, 1945. So this is really cool. And actually, what I thought was kind of even cooler, my third grade teacher has the same last name, Gamir. And I remember her saying that her parents were from Poland. And so I'm guessing, I'm not sure if this was her father or uncle, something like that. But Gamir is not a very common name, especially around here. And then you have 8 seashells. And they're all labeled Anzio Beachhead, Italy, June 1945. I just thought these were super cool. Get a better look at them without the glare. Looks like ink. Not exactly sure how they were inscribed on there, but Anzio Beachhead, Italy, 1945 on all of them. So I got some blanket filler from my wife's craft cabinet. Put it in this empty shadow box that I had, and these stay in there nice and tight. And I didn't want to put the rock in there because I like being able to look at the name in Salerno Beach. So when I do have this on display, I'll probably have this propped up and have this sitting on top of it so you can kind of hold it and look at it. So this is a really cool, unique addition to the collection. And up next, I also got this from my collector buddy. I actually just picked this up yesterday, and I'm really excited about this one. Right here, I've been on the hunt for a pair of B-8 flight goggles for my flak helmet display. I still need an oxygen mask, though, but I found a pair of Polaroid B-8 flight goggles. And you can see right there, aviation goggle, Polaroid, and this has the amber lens in it. When I picked this up yesterday, this was stored in a basement since the vet got home. This is a Syracuse, New York veteran. However, his identity has asked to be not publicly released as the family is still living. So out of respect for the family, I'm not going to give you the name. But he was a lieutenant, and he flew with the 358th Fighter Squadron, or Bomb Squadron, and he flew P-47s. So having that little bit of history behind this, my collector friend bought this right from the man's daughter, and she said that this was sitting in the basement for about 80 years. So they're kind of in rough shape, so I'm really excited. I got a deal on them for, I think, 65 bucks for all of this stuff. And it's named. And it has the instruction booklet. Looks like a little bit of damage on the corner from like a mouse or something, bugs maybe. And it's a little warped, but you can still flip through it carefully. But right here, I'm going to cover this up because the vet's name is actually stamped here underneath the ink. It's kind of blacked out, but you can still read it. But you can see goggle flying type B8 Polaroid. So the box is still in awesome shape for, given the circumstances. And it also has the spare lenses all in here. However, they are all in this sort of condition, kind of warped, probably from moisture and drying out over the years. And, so I'm really not too worried about the condition of the spare lenses because I like the ones that are in there just fine, and I don't plan on replacing them. There's also this little metal piece right here. I'm not sure if this goes to the goggles or not. And then there's this odd, looks like, I don't know, shoelaces or something, bootlaces. But there's 4 little sections and they're all kind of knotted together. So not sure what that is. But when I had got these yesterday, you couldn't even see through these. It looked like they were completely opaque. Same with the rubber here. It was so just covered in gunk and grime. So again, just took some baby wipes, no harsh chemicals or anything like that, and just did my best to wipe the inside of the mask, the outside of the mask. I didn't touch the leather part right here because I didn't want to mess with any of that. But just to get the grime off of the rubber and the outside of the lenses. It looks like night and day, though. It's actually crazy how much gunk came off of it. So, absolutely thrilled to have a pair of B8 flight goggles, but a locally named guy that flew P-47s is just the icing on the cake with this one, really. I lucked out with this one. And right here, this is the last of my local stuff. This is thanks to NH Militaria. Thank you so much for this again. Really appreciate it. This was a Syracuse veteran, World War I. This is a P-17 Marines tunic. And it is named on the inside of the arm right here. You can see A. Peel, P-E-I-L. And that's Arthur Peel. And he was a Syracuse native, I believe born in 1896 or 1897. And he enlisted the day after the armistice, interestingly enough. So it is still listed that he is a veteran. He served stateside, I believe, with the National Guard. But this is in pretty awesome shape. There's like a light stain right here on the pocket. And funny enough, I had seen this on the same Facebook group, Make an Offer page. And when I had made an offer on it, the guy had messaged me and said, my bad, I totally forgot. This post has been up for so long that I forgot about it. I actually just traded this tunic yesterday. So I'm sorry about that. And I was like, oh, that's no problem. And I went on Instagram later that night, and my buddy over at NH Militaria had posted that he had just gotten this in, and I couldn't believe it. So I talked to him, reached out to him, explained to him, that I collect Syracuse stuff, and he said he'd be willing to sell it once he was going to use it for a display for an event. And then messaged me and said that he was going to use something else, and something came up, so it was available even sooner. So I'm really excited to add this to the Hometown Heroes. It's going to be a whole new section in my museum, I think, because I'm going to have to make room for all of this awesome new stuff that I've been getting in. So I can flip it over. It's unpatched, but it's in great shape. There really isn't any mothing. But great shape, besides a light stain on the front. All the stitching is still in place, And this is just a really beautiful green tunic. This is a really interesting and sobering piece of World War II Army Air Corps history right here. I've really been focusing my collection more on either local guys, World War I, or World War II Army Air Force. And I had found these. These are very heavy metal. These used to be plaques. And these were hung up in a Hungarian church in Florida. And I bought this directly from the man who found these plaques, his son. It was a church that was decommissioned and was gutted for reconstruction. And it was a Hungarian church in Florida. Can't exactly remember where. I believe it was the Magyar Presbyterian Church. And these are plaques that were hung up for past members. And when it was gutted, these plaques were found in a trash heap. The man's father was an Army Presbyterian minister, and he had found these and knew that the son had an interest in World War II. As you can see right here, Lieutenant Julius Z. Meleg, 1917 to 1944, so 27 years old, and a plaque for Dr. Julius and Mary Meleg. And you can see that Dr. Julius passed away in 1951, and Mary passed away in 1976. So, about Lieutenant Julius, this came with an entire packet of information here. Given his birthday and all that, burial, he was a navigator on a B-17 Flying Fortress, specifically Lily Marlene, and there's her number right there, 43-38066. Julius Zoltan Meleg in the U.S. World War II. Birthplace was McKeesport, Pennsylvania. Registered in Cook, Illinois. There's his height, weight, physical description. He's buried over in the Netherlands. He was on his 4th mission, and they were going to bomb, I believe it was a German, some sort of facility. You can see right here, his father was born in Hungary, served with the U.S. Army Air Force in World War II, and 2 B-17s crashed midair over the Netherlands. He was a navigator on a B-17 going to bomb the marshalling yards, that's what it was, at Cologne, Germany. The aircraft collided with B-17 number 43-38108 in midair. The propellers of 43-38108 cut through it and broke into 2 pieces. There was a total, I believe, of 18 men that were killed in action. I think 2 were taken as POWs. But Julius right here, navigator, there's his serial number, killed in action, buried in the American War Cemetery in Markgraten, Holland. Also have a picture of his gravestone there. Have a picture of him, 2nd Lieutenant Julius Meleg. And this was a newspaper clipping. Flying on his 4th mission, 2 planes collided over Cologne on October 14th, 1944. Remains interned at Markgraten, Holland. Received Purple Heart. And you have a picture right here. 365th Bomber Squadron, 305th Bomber Group. And this is his burial plot right here. Plot D, Row 8, Grave 12, Netherlands, American Cemetery in Markgraten, the Netherlands. So, a very sobering piece, but an interesting piece also, as I've never seen anything quite like this, really. But I couldn't pass it up with the information that was with it, and I think I got both of these for about $35 after shipping. But very heavy either brass or some sort of metal. Could just be painted steel. But really nice plaques that I want to try and somehow display these properly. And over here, I got some more World War II Army Air Force stuff. I got this really cool Eagles logbook. This is like a yearbook. As you can see, this is a pilot's training school. So it has the lower class, cadets, and then it has your graduating class right here. A whole bunch from all the different squadrons and stuff. This one is identified. This is a USA Army Air Force Certificate of Completion for Pilots Advanced Flying School. This is like the diploma at Douglas, Arizona on March 12th, 1944. And this was given to Second Lieutenant Heath C. Steele. And if we flip through here, if I remember correctly, he should be on page 34. And yep, Mr. Steele is right here. As you can see, Heath Steele from Oxford, Illinois. And it's kind of cool. They have, I'm not sure what they are. Maybe they were common sayings that these guys were known for saying, or like a quote from them or something. Not sure, but everybody has a quote underneath their name, and underneath Mr. Steele's it says "Back to bed, men." So I thought that was really cool. Really nice diploma though. Just needs, I think, some glass or plexiglass in front of it, because right now there's nothing protecting it. So I'll probably find something to cover that. And it also came with a yard-long photo, which I'm going to try and roll out and display now. So right here's the yard long. I haven't been able to find Mr. Steele in here. It's kind of hard, you know, because everybody kind of takes pictures a little bit differently, and they're in a full flight cap versus just a garrison cap. So I'm sure he's in here somewhere, but I haven't been able to find him just yet. So, but the yard long is really nice, really detailed. You can kind of see the cadet symbol there with 21 there on the flag. There's only one small tear in it right over here on this side. But I thought it was really cool that it came with what I'm guessing could be the original box that the photo came in. But so yeah, got that nice little grouping, I think for $50. I think he flew P-51s too, if I'm not mistaken, after this. So all right, and last but not least, again from NH Militaria, he was kind enough to give me a really nice deal on this World War I tunic right here. It is a full uniform. Got the pants or the trousers right here. This is for the 27th Infantry Division. But you got some really nice collar discs up here. I believe this is a 1917 pattern, United States National Guard, and this is the 106th Infantry Regiment, F Company, or I'm sorry, Artillery Regiment, F Battery. They were engaged in multiple battles over in France against German positions, and actually helped aid in the taking of a couple of towns. Got the World War I Victory Ribbon with 2 battle stars. And you've also got 27th Infantry Division patch here, which the top right corner is coming off just a little bit. You got your discharge stripe right here, nice 2-piece construction. And then you got, I believe this is the overseas service with a hair stuck to the sleeve. But some really nice patches. Some light mothing, otherwise in pretty decent shape. A couple of stains right here on the pockets. But the buttons are really nice. Love the look of the World War I uniforms, especially these nice wool ones. And then the pants, or the trousers, whatever you want to call them. Let me zoom out of here. Got laces for your legs are still there. Some light mothing on the lower legs. This is unnamed, but it's still a really nice, complete uniform, so your boy needs mannequins, that's for sure. So I am on the hunt for a full mannequin right now, so I can display this with my 27th Infantry Division M1 helmet. And I think it's going to make a really good impression. So, and then I would just need to find some sort of boots, maybe, but we'll figure that out when we get there. But that is all I have for you guys today. Hopefully I will have some more stuff coming here, and then I'm going to get the room all organized again, and I might give you another room tour then. But until then, we will see you guys in the next video. Everybody have a good one, and thanks for tuning in.